Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r/AskReddit. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. What's your most NSFW family moment? I skipped school. I used to do it all the time because my dad worked 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. most days and was a single father. I was in my room as per norm, and he came home early. Didn't want to get caught, so stayed perfectly still. My bedroom's at the top of the stairs, the computer is right at the base of the stairs. Dad watches porn for the next hour. I think he heard a squeak cause he stopped to holler up the stairs for me. But didn't budge. Didn't move. Didn't say anything. Just waited. 5 minutes pass, he's satisfied. Goes back to his business. Never told him. Never skipped school again. Stay in school, kids. When I was 14 or so, one of my cousins, from mom's side of the family, came with us to my grandparents' dad's side of the family, for Christmas Day. We were staying there the night with my entire extended family, which is a nightmare in itself. My dad's brother, after drinking all day and after finding out my cousin and I will be sharing a bed in the back of the 4WD, comes up to me and says really slyly, "You and your little girlfriend are sharing a bed, huh?" I inform him that she is my cousin, and he just looks blankly at me and says that's okay. My first time was with my cousin. I hadn't mentioned this to anyone because it was weird and made me a little uncomfortable, but my cousin got married 2 weeks ago. At the reception, I told my dad about what his brother had said to me some 15 years ago. My dad just looked at me and says, "Yeah, we both had our first times with Shelly." My family is a bunch of cousin fuckers. Ugh. When I was 18, I dated a girl. She lived about an hour away, so I would stay at her house overnight, but her parents wouldn't let us stay in the same room, so I slept in a guest bed in the basement. Being 18-year-olds, we would be up very late and go to bed around 2 a.m. Her dad was some kind of delivery driver and worked around 4. He came down to the basement every single morning before work and masturbated to porn on the desktop computer while I was sleeping 10 feet away. There was only a couch between us, so the first couple times I lifted my head to see what he was doing before I realized. You better believe I didn't keep it a secret from her. I'd quietly text from under the blanket, "Your dad's jerking it again," right next to me. Just showing dominance in his household. When I was still in school, I came home with my GF at the time. We're upstairs in my room and she's giving me a blowjob. Across the room, I see the door start to slowly and ridiculously silently open. In walks my father. Sees me, sees her. Most awkward eye contact ever. In a panic, I do the only thing I could think of. I point him out the door. Just as quietly as he came in, he was gone again. And on that day, he gained my eternal respect. She still doesn't know. LMFAO, probably the only response I have laughed at. I can see a middle-aged man silently sneaking back through the door. I love that your automatic reaction was to just point him out the door. Bravo, sir. I was helping my then boyfriend's sister move into a new place, and the keys were at the new house, and someone needed to go get them. So my boyfriend and I drove over to get them. While we were there, we did a little exploring of the new empty house. We realized there was an attic and opened the ceiling door to let the steps down. I climbed up first and, being in a skirt, gave my boyfriend a nice view. We ended up having sex right there on the attic ladder, and right in the middle we hear the door open, boyfriend's name called out, a pause, and then the door shut. We sheepishly returned to the rest of the family at the old house, to find his sister trying not to laugh hysterically. She says their mother came over to try to find out what was taking so long. Upon her return, she just loudly exclaimed they were fucking. To this day it's our favorite phrase to exclaim. Deleted. This comment is brought to you by Fiverr.com. That's when you let them touch it for free. You done fucked up, Aaron. I was on a road trip with my parents and the family dog after my brother went to college, and we checked into a hotel room with 2 queen beds. My parents took one, the dog and I were in the other. My dad wanted to gross me out and said, "Now son, if you hear anything in the middle of the night, keep your eyes on that wall," and pointed behind me with one hand, putting his arm around my disgusted mom with the other. I put my arm around the dog and said okay, but I expect the same courtesy. This is the first one in the thread that got a laugh out of me. Well done, teenage you. My auntie rang my best mate, who was mowing her lawns during that time, and asked him to fuck her. He declined. It's good because even though I don't see her often, she usually slips me $50. I figure it's her way of saying STFU. What sort of lawn mowing are we talking about here exactly? I walked in on my aunt having sex with someone who's not her husband. In my grandma's bed. At my grandpa's funeral. This got exponentially worse after each period. I've seen this porno. You're supposed to punish her for cheating with a butt banging. Thought it would be a good idea to make breakfast for my dad and stepmom. Cooked it all, got it ready and bought the plates in and thought bringing it in unannounced would be a wonderful surprise. I was not greeted by smiles. Instead I was presented by an image that is forever burnt into my mind, my dad under the covers obviously plugging away with my stepmom's head hanging off the side of the bed with her eyes closed and showing me her face. I retreated quickly but my brain went well better put that in permanent storage and make it one of the clearest memories possible. Don't worry, you won't be forgetting any detail at all. And this is why we knock. Back when I was in high school I worked with my girlfriend on weekends. After work, we'd go back to her house and usually had 2-ish hours before her parents came home. On some days we'd take a nap, other days we'd watch a movie or fool around, etc. One fateful Saturday, our nap session turned into sex. As an aside, she was pretty loud especially when she thought no one was home. So, we get started and everything is coming along nicely when all of a sudden there's some aggressive banging on her bedroom door. Of course we freak out, get dressed, and open the door only to find that it was her sister's boyfriend messing with us. So, we shut the door, and get back to business in a much more aggressive manner than initially. Her moaning is now more like yelling and I'm humping with reckless abandon when again there's another round of banging on the door. This time we ignore it and keep going for another 10-ish seconds before we hear dad scream at us through the door. He drove me home in his police cruiser immediately after that. 45-ish minutes in silence with his shotgun in the backseat and a condom still on my super flaccid dick. There was a time when my family lived in a tiny apartment. We had one bedroom with a double-deck bed. My parents slept on the bottom bunk and my older sister and I slept at the top. Well, one night I wake up to the bed shaking and peeking below. I realized my parents were having sex. I was like maybe 8 or 9, so I wasn't really grossed out, but just really confused. My sister slept through the entire thing, or so I've always thought. When I was 12 to 13 at a hotel room with my parents for a basketball tournament, gold medal thanks for asking, they fucked. In the bed right next to mine. 10 minutes after lights out. I never mentioned it to anybody. Last weekend I was visiting NYC, and lo and behold we share a hotel room. They fucked. Again. No way babe. Oh come on, he slept through it the last time we did at that basketball tournament. Hey, at least your parents still have a healthy sex life after so many years. Desperate enough to do it in front of their kid twice. My husband and I had to move in with his parents for about 3 months when we were having financial issues. As I have the very last bag in my hand ready to move to our new home, I sat the bag on the living room floor and went to the bathroom. When I came out something was going off in the bag. I said it's probably our son's Thomas the Tank toy. My mom-in-law dives right in and pulls out my vibrator and holds it up for like 30 seconds like she's the Statue of Liberty holding up her fucking torch. My father-in-law and brother-in-law were also right there in the room. Needless to say they still bring it up and Thomas the Train is now code for vibrator in that family. LOL. The things Thomas has seen. The places he's been. It was time for Thomas to go. He had seen everything. Was having a wank when my dad walked in. Shocked I turned around, I was clothed, just had my dick out. He asked what I was doing, startled I said nothing. Are you doing drugs? That shocked me more than him finding me wanking. I told him no, and I said I was checking my balls for lumps. Oh, okay then. And left. Nothing more said about it. My grandma told my whole family at dinner that she had sex on the beach once. When asked when, she replied, when I was 76. At least she is still getting it at that age. When I was 76. But grandma, today is your 76th birth. Oh wait. When I was really young I was playing PlayStation in my brother's room. He has this giant poster of some blonde model, half naked. Paused the game for a quick 5-minute wank. I finished up and just looked towards his bedroom door. My mom literally just walked away. As I looked up, never got mentioned ever. I don't know what's worse, knowing you got caught or knowing she stood there and thought, do I say something? No, best not. He's getting to that age after all. He'll just leave. But he'll watch him finish first. Growing up, my brother and I used to share a room. Anyway. One night I get woken up by moaning and sounds of pain. I look over and my brother rolls out of bed clutching his stomach and runs out the room. Now imagine a chubby 9-year-old wearing nothing but loose boxers hobbling / sprinting down the hall. I'm hit with this foul smell, and I look down and there is a trail of wet splattery poop everywhere. Brother finishes running, slams into the bathroom, and you can almost hear the sigh of relief. Except there wasn't. Turns out when he went to relieve his shitty bowels, he had nothing left. Best part was that he didn't realize where the poop had gone until he walked out the bathroom to see his shitty legacy spread out behind him. Oh, and fun fact, we had extended family staying over that time, notably the hot cousin he was crushing on. Roll Tide. Yeehaw. The morning after my wedding I bumped into my cousin in the hotel lobby, and she was asking about one of my groomsmen. She wanted to know how we were related to him. I told her he was just a friend of mine. She looked disappointed by this, and at the time I had no idea why. She'd cheated on her new husband with him after the wedding reception. And she was bummed he wasn't her cousin or some shit. Because it's not cheating if it's family, duh. When I was a kid, around 8, the PlayStation was in my parents' room, and we usually went to that room to play Gran Turismo with my little brother, which essentially consisted of driving a Suzuki Escudo at full throttle, never hitting the brakes once for the duration of the race, and still whining one lap ahead from everybody. Once he got angry about something and threw his controller away, detaching it from the console, and it ended up landing on my parents' wardrobe. We were small, so we tried climbing on the thing to get to it, and ended up making a lot of the stuff on there falling on us. I felt a soft object hitting my forehead. It looked like a really big dick. My brother took it from the ground wondering what that was. I took it from him and yes, that was definitely a penis. Innocent me back then thought it was supposed to go on a mannequin or something, because I had never seen a mannequin naked and figured mannequins had penises too. For some reason I instinctively threw it back up the wardrobe, but my little bro had already dashed downstairs telling my parents we found something strange in their bedroom. So my parents dashed upstairs and asked me what it was. I told them we found something that looked like a plastic horse stick and threw it back up. Since then we've had the PlayStation in our room. Mom walked into the bathroom when I was having some personal time. It's been 6 months and we still avoid eye contact. Well yeah, that means that you've established dominance. The world is your wank space now. You've been wanking continuously for 6 months? If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.